Hey guys, let's talk about SMITE Pro League today. SMITE competitive scene and how it can be improved, okay? Now, we are all here because we love this game so much, because we are competitive players at heart. But when you realize all this background, all this business that's going on, you realize that SMITE competitive scene is not actually a competitive scene, it's just a huge business, okay? What really hurt me the most is this game has so much potential, even after 10 years. We have one of the best action combat, one of the best social system, but Harris is not doing anything with this game. And we literally had, they literally had zero competition on the MOBA market, and they still didn't manage to fix the core issues this game has, like fixing UI, adding ranked leaderboard and rewards for arena, adding old fun game modes back on weekends, like Domination, SMITE Mario Kart, fixing SMITE SPL, making separate EU and North America tourneys. Let's see who is actually the best. Let's get this rivalry going, What Harris is doing currently goes totally against, and they call these guys the best, they call them the best, but these guys are probably the reason why SMITE is in such state that it is, Because players that get on SMITE SPL, not only do they get more views on YouTube because people think they are the best, but they also get sponsorship money and they get YouTube ad money, and it's in their interest that they actually have no competition, because they get so much money from it and they actually get views. Only way how you can actually make it as a SMITE content creator is that you get on SMITE SPL, because then people think you are the best. But in reality most of these guys lack so much competition, and half of them they don't even know how to build properly. Okay, so we have one of these games here, SMITE Pro League World Championships. These guys are supposed to be best of the best, but half of them they barely know how to build. For example, let's check some of these builds here. Okay, so we have, for example, two solo builds here, okay? Gladiator shield is okay. Hardware amulet makes no sense, especially when most conquest teams have 3 physical gods. You see, they have warrior, they have a hunter, they have double hunter actually, and they still don't buy Witchblade, And Witchblade is not just good against hunters and 3 physical teams, but also gods that animation cancel a lot, like Susano. You would expect that these guys are best of the best, that they actually understand meta, but they don't. They don't buy the correct items, they don't buy the correct aura items, They don't have Witchblade or Shonkuzari, which are probably 2 best auras in the whole game. They don't have Contagion, which is anti-heal aura for supports. You see, they build tips as a first item in a conquest that is designed around snowballing, which means you need 10 minutes to get those stats on tips, and in this time you can already lose your early game, and that's why Stone of Binding, for example, or Witchblade were always a better choice. And Sentinel's Gift is a good starter items, but you see, this support here doesn't even buy Sentinel's Gift, so he has no sustain in early game. Well, he bought Shonkuzari, which is actually really good, And this is actually, such a big issue. Like, for example, we have one of those threads here. Let's see. One of the biggest issue is that these teams didn't actually deserve their spots, but they got handpicked by Hi-Res. They call it a Friends League for a reason. How can you even call it a competitive scene when players literally get handpicked? When you have 10 players send same teams for 5 years in a row. And this actually goes totally, we love this game. We have been working our asses off to be the best. But most of us have not, we can't even prove ourselves. For example, arena players have no ranked leaderboard, so nobody takes them seriously. There is zero international, 0 console players. Lack of EU players. EU is literally the biggest region, and EU players had to play with high ping on qualifiers. And people don't realize how heavily gated actually SMITE SPL is. It is so hard to get full team and a coach for a normal Joe. It's almost impossible. And then, you know, then these guys get handpicked, you know. And if you let's just check something. If you type SMITE into YouTube, a lot of these guys who appear at the top, who actually get so many views, were on SPL. For example, we have Weekend, we have Zapman, we have Panda Cat, you know, we have, and what do all these guys have in common? They were all on SPL, you know, and then people think these guys are the best, so they watch them. Will the rest of us has no way to actually compete, to actually get any views as SMITE content creators, no matter how much effort or how much we love this game, you know. You know, there are like Weekend, Icon, yeah, Zapman, Barracuda, Jake Paul, Hadix, Panda Cat, all these guys been on SPL, and they literally make their careers out of it. And that's why these guys don't wanna have competition, because that brings them so much money from YouTube and so much views and so much money from sponsors, you know, and then they complain why are they not getting paid, you know. It just sucks so much. Like, I wanna see actual competition, not the same 10 people every year. And they call you know what I hate the most is that they call themselves champions, even though they know how much competition they're actually lacking. This pisses me off the most. Because there are players who love this game so much and work at their asses off for years to be the best. But we have no way to actually prove it to, you know, and it's so gatekeeped that it's not worth, you know, it's a joke. SMITE is going downhill sadly, even though it's probably, SMITE is probably one of those games that has one of the most potential of all games on the MOBA market. They had no competition, they had one of the best action combat and social system, and still this game is dying. Because Hi-Rez don't know how to manage their games, their communities, you know. Okay, and let me also show you something else. If you check, for example, under the intersect video, if you check some of these comments, you can just check the creation date of these accounts. You see, only 2 years old account. Only few years old account. Only 2 years old account again. You see, this guy, a lot of these YouTubers make fake promotional accounts to boost their YouTube videos. So never trust a YouTuber, you know. They abuse YouTube in ways you can't even imagine. How are the same 10 people, same teams every year? I don't understand. Like, seriously. The issue with SMITE Pro League is basically that it turned into North America Conquest YouTubers gathering at this point. And what Hi-Rez needs to do is they need to make separate EU and North America tourneys and let two best teams play it out in Atlanta, so they get viewers and sponsors from both continents. You know, they get this rivalry going, this competitive spirit, they will get so much more viewers. And when you call these guys out, you usually just get banned on these Reddit communities. Censorship is also one of the biggest problem of SMITE community. And next biggest issue is, for example, how divided actually SMITE community is. You know, Hi-Rez is always complaining about splitting the player base, but they're already doing it on every corner. You know, they only mention splitting player base when somebody mentions adding old fun game modes back, like domination, or that they would add ranked leaderboard for arena fans. But you know, when they force players for years into Conquest, if they actually wanna be ranked players, if they wanna be taken seriously, they're not complaining, you know. And if you check SMITE Reddit, for example, We have 6 SMITE subreddits instead of 1 with flares, you know. And there's no memes allowed, only artwork, you know, because these mods have no idea how to manage their communities and they're too busy banning people that call them out or whatever, you know. Yeah, the funny thing is the main moderator is not even shown here, I think. Or they changed his name, you know. So for example, you know what pisses me off the most personally is they call themselves champions, you know, and they know how much competition they lack. They lack like 70% of competition is lacking. You know, there is almost no international players, the lack of EU players, the lack of console players, the lack of arena players, you know, and there is the same 10 guys every year. Like, don't tell me these guys are so fucking good that, you know, that they are so good. But then you can literally just check their builds and you know they have no idea how to play Conquest. They have no early game because they go stacking items. They don't buy the proper aura items like Witchblade, Chon, Kuzari, Contagion. They buy fucking hardware. Look at this, you know, look at these solo builds for examples. And let me remind you, these guys are supposed to be the best. They buy Shinji Guard over Shogun Kuzari, which is 3 times better, you know. Gladiator Shield is good. This hammer, I'm not sure if it's even good. They buy fucking hardware, Tamurate and Spectral. Like, you know, and you have no ability hunters either. You know, if you compare ability hunter versus stacking item hunter in early game, you're gonna get outclit every time, you know. And those joke-ass support builds are also like, how can you build support so poorly? Tips, Relic Dagger, when you have Shogun Kuzari, when you have Witchblade, when you could go so Virginity, they literally only have Hibo as a magical damage, so Virginity will be huge, Witchblade will be huge, Shogun will be also huge because they have 3 physical gods. Most Conquest teams have 3 physical gods, right? So they rely on basic attacks a lot, on animation cancelling, and that's why you buy Witchblade, you get Shogun Kuzari, you can get Void Shield, Executioner, but they don't have a single, okay, they have Executioner, but that's it, you know. They don't build properly and they call themselves champions. Like, is that because they lack competition? Yeah, I would probably say that, you know. And let's check some of these commentators here, some of these accounts. Okay, I was afraid they are fake accounts, but they can still be, you know, 215. It's probably a fake accounts too, you know, people have been abusing fake promotional accounts on YouTube for years now, you know. Wait, where is that? You see, we have this post here, top 6 players in each role, okay, and then you have this here. It's the same people. Like, how can the same people be best in something for years? Like Awesome Jake, Barracuda, Zapman, Sam, Fine OK, Hadix, and then you check their builds on YouTube and they don't know how to build properly. How do they even call themselves champions, man? Why is Smite Pro League such a disgrace? And then you check some of these comments here, yeah. You know, and the biggest issue here is that half of these guys actually get in via friends connection. They didn't earn their spots, but they're still getting paid. You know? We're all getting played and even Harris is not realizing it. There's only 2 other supports, another is Gamma and Huri. Like, I mean, you know, I know Harris is just trying to run a business, but they will get so much more viewers, so much more support that they will actually know how to manage their communities. All they have to do is to make separate EU and North America tourneys, and then let two best teams play it out in Atlanta like we had 7 years ago. Why is that so hard for Hi-Res? What really hurt me the most is this game has so much potential, even after 10 years. We have one of the best action combat, one of the best social system, but Hi-Res is not doing anything with this game. And we literally had, you know, they literally had zero competition on the MOBA market, and they still didn't manage to fix the core issues this game has, like fixing UI, adding ranked leaderboard and rewards for arena, adding old fun game modes back on weekends, like Domination, SMITE Mario Kart, fixing SMITE SPL, making separate EU and North America tourneys. You know, let's see who is actually the best. Let's get this rivalry going, you know. What Hi-Res is doing currently goes totally against, you know, and they call these guys the best, they call them the best, but these guys are probably the reason why SMITE is in such state that it is, you know. And they, you know, the biggest issue here is that these guys don't, you know, they're supposed to be a competitive players, but they don't want to have competition because otherwise they won't get that YouTube money or that sponsorship money. And that's the biggest issue here. People don't realize how gateway this whole thing is, you know. You have no chances to get there as a normal player, no matter how much you love this game or how much effort you put into making the content, you know. For example, you know, I don't wanna, you know, he make good content, but the reality is, if these guys won't be on SPL, he will have 20,000 views, subscribers, not 200,000, you know, and that's why these guys, you know, don't wanna lose competition, you know. I don't know, man, I'm sick of making these complaint videos and nothing changes. You can express this so many times. Also, there is a good video, L Leon SPL. What is wrong with the SPL? This video is actually really good. You can learn about SPL scene and so much and so much. And yeah, honestly, I feel they should just, you know, hold tournaments where SPL players participate to make the SPL again, honestly, you know. But they don't care because they're making so much money. They don't care about competition. This goes totally against the competitive spirit why we love this game, and this is what hurt me the most. These guys are, you know, playing, living like kings, but it's all fake. It's all fake, you know. And we who actually love this game, who worked for years to be the best, have no chances to actually prove ourselves, you know. Hi-Res really doesn't care about the community. They don't. You know, I have been complaining for years, nothing has changed. Every season they make a new weird balancing changes that dumb the game down. They remove hybrid items, they remove the support items. But they don't fix the core issues this game has. And then Hi-Res is forced to... They're literally forced to turn this game into skin laundering machine. Because they don't fix the core issues this game has. So now they have to make these skins and to actually make money. And we have no commendation rewards, we have no achievement points rewards. You know, the lack of initiative to actually play this game. Back in the days we also had, you know, 3 mini chests for each 3 wins you get. That was a really good way to actually, you know, a good initiative to play this game, but to take this game seriously. But you cannot take this game seriously, because if you wanna be ranked, if you wanna be a competitive player, you either have to play Conquest or Joust. And they're both snowballing mess of a game modes. Hi-Res acting like they have no issues, you know. Meanwhile, Arena fans don't even get ranked leaderboard and some rewards. They could make so much more out of this game. Have, you know, competitive Arena tourneys, have competitive Conquest tourneys, where, you know, 2 best teams fight each other. This is what SMITE is missing so desperately, you know. And this is why this game is so dying. Yeah, we get a new god, we get new season, people come back, but the game is just dying, you know, and we still have no MOBA competition. This game had no competition on MOBA market, and they still didn't manage to do anything without it. This is what sucks so much about SMITE, you know. I loved Smite. I played Smite for 10 years. I got ranked in Conquest, Joust and Arena. But I have no way to prove that. Because my favorite game with Arena has no rank leaderboard. And Conquest is a big time investment, a snowballing mess. And just people abusing balanced high-res items like Gladiator Shield. And Smite, you know, Smite SPL is just a huge joke. Just a North America YouTuber business, you know. It's nothing more than that. I hope one day something will change, but I don't actually have much more expectations, you know, like I have put so much effort and so much love into this game, but all I can do these days is complain about the game. I don't even like doing that myself. Like I wanted to take this game. I really wanted to you know, take this game seriously. I love this game so much, you know. But I will have to let it go, I guess, you know, because I'm just wasting my energy on this and it's not worth it anymore. And I made over like 500 Smite videos. I never got much views, you know, because only SPL boosted YouTubers get views as a Smite content creators. Otherwise you have no chances to actually make it. And these are one of the biggest problems of Smite community. How hard it is to get any views as a Smite content creator. How stupid and managed Smite ranked scene is. The game balance, the lack of initiative to actually play this game, you know, and the also bad moderation is probably one of the biggest issue why Smite is dying. Bad moderators on Smite Reddit. I got banned on Smite SPL chat, I got banned in Smite official YouTube channel, in Smite Discord, in Smite Facebook groups. And you know, some of those Smite Facebook groups have like 50,000 members. And as a small content creator, when you get banned from these communities, you just lose the motivation to actually make any content for it. People don't realize how much effort it actually takes to make videos, you know. And there are some guys like Sam that do Torexi who, you know, really made videos and, you know, really put the effort in. But then on the other side you have guys like Weekend, you have, you know, I'm not saying they are making bad content, they make good content, but they all get SPL boosted. Weekend, Icon, Jake Paul, Barracuda, Zapman, all these guys are the same, you know. I have no respect for these guys because they know how much competition they lack, and they still call themselves champions, and they still say nothing about the problems of Smite rank scene because they are making so much money that they simply don't care, you know. And they, you know, nerfed so many items, like Stone of Binding was one of the best early support items, like Witchblade, cheap items, good stats, good for early game, but they changed so many items, I don't even know how to play supports anymore. And yeah, the biggest thing is, you know, they removed hybrid items that allowed for deep itemization and fun counter building. But they keep Gladiator Shield in game, which goes totally against the balance, the hybrid items removal they did. Gladiator Shield is one of the best hybrid items in the game. The more protections you buy, the more damage you do. And this goes totally against the hybrid items removal they just did. And now, not only Warriors, but also Guardians will be able to buy it. As a support player, they totally, you know, they removed all the items that, you know, Stone of Binding, Runic Shield, Witchblade, Void Shield, all these items allowed for counter building, but most Conquest players don't give a shit about that, because Conquest is not about counter building, but about snowballing, you know. And this is probably the last video I actually make about complaining about Smite, because I'm sick of this. I hate this constant complaining, and, you know, I could talk to you for, you know, every day, you know, like I'm gonna eat a banana, you know. It just makes me, you know, SMITE World Championship. One would have thought that these guys are the best of the best. But when you check their builds, they barely know how to
Because you had
build.
mentioned that.
No. These builds are a bit better, you know. You have Sovereignty against 3 physicals. And no reason to buy tips here or whatever was that. He needs Witchblade and Shogun at this point or Valor for cooldown. Gladiator Shield plus Shogun is so unbalanced. He's so unbalanced, you know. We have flat pin items early, which is really good for junglers. And yeah, on mages. I guess that's your typical ADCC build. This guy, Guardian here, should probably buy Water Gift into Stone of Binding, into Witchblade, into Shogun, Valor, Winged, you know. Maybe Sovereignty too, since the blue team has 3 physicals, you know.
Aren't gonna give it to him.
And what pisses me off is the same 5 guys, same teams, like 7 years in a row we have same guys on SMITE Championship. Yes, these 10 guys are so better than thousands of players than everybody else, yeah, sure. Harris really has no idea how to... They're overpaying these players. You know, like... Why? This doesn't make any sense. Harris has... Whoever is a, you know, SPL manager has no idea how to properly do this. You just need to make separate EU and North America tourneys and let 2 best teams fight it out in Atlanta. That's literally all you have to do. But you have these... like pro players, 10 same players every year who barely know how to build. Same guys, Powell, fine, okay. Same guys, like what is this? Fucking hard for Tamulate. Are you kidding me? No, seriously. What are those support builds? How can you even build these items in a fucking championship? Holy shit. And they have no Witchblade, no Shogun Kozari. Oh. I don't know, man, I'm simply done. You cannot teach players if they don't wanna be taught, you know. These guys are not here because they are the best, it's because they make money, okay? There is no more competitive spirit here. You know, players don't know how to build, their coaches don't know the build. You know why? Because they lacked competition for years now. For years they lack competition, they sleep on arena players, they sleep on console international EU players, they sleep on so much competition. And then they have the balls to come themselves champions. And why would Harris pay these guys? Why? Just make like a, I don't know, like 30,000 final, or you know, just make like money prize for the best 3 teams or something like that, and just let the players to fight it out. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to play, you don't need to pay players. Why are you even paying these players? They get money from YouTube, they get money from sponsors, and that's why they don't wanna get any competition. Like, I'm not sure how Harris is not understanding this. It's not a rocket science, like seriously. It's literally your business, your firm, and you still don't know these things. Yeah, these guys are so good. Yeah, they are so fucking good. Look at this joke as fine, okay build. The only good item he has is Gladiator Shield. And he doesn't buy Void Shield in late game, even though he has 3 physicals in his team. So they have no late game, they have they don't have Shogun Kozari or Witchblade, you know. Shogun Kozari is so huge. These support builds are also a joke. Winged Blade is good. Some of players actually know how to build, you know. But most of the support and solo builds are
Like, all the
absolute
money.
joke on this
Titans
championship.
have to ask them first and haven't just yet. Instead, tier 1 mid tower fall back towards the Pyromancer. Maybe back to base after that, spend up some gold.
Yeah, I mean, okay, they have Shogun, that's good.
5-0-2 for Paul on the Tiamat. Had a great performance in game number 1 for the Titans. Didn't see it come out in game number 2.
I don't know, what are those joke as support builds? Seriously, they have no voucher gift for early game sustain, then they got tapes, so they literally have no early game, and then they don't even buy a single good support tower. They don't buy Shogun, they don't buy Sovereignty, Witchblade, Shogun Kozari or Contagion. What the hell is going on? How are these guys even playing at this level if they don't even know the meta? They don't even understand the meta for supports. And they play at the championship level for some reason.
2.
GG Harris, really, GG. This game had, what hurt me the most is that this game had so much potential. It has one of the best action combat and one of the best social system. And Harris still didn't manage to do anything with it, even though we have literally zero competition on MOBA market. Zero! How can you be so bad at something you do? I'm seriously gonna become the next DM Brandon. Yeah, we can also talk about DM Brandon. Like, SMITE, this is also one of the biggest issue. SMITE community representatives, like SMITE Olympians and Harris and moderators are supposed to bring the community together, but in these past few years they all did the opposite. SMITE Olympian girl literally caused the whole DM Brandon situation, and there was another YouTuber, Frost, who made 5 videos about DM Brandon, and at the end it turned out these guys were girlfriend and boyfriend all time along, all way long, you know, like seriously. How fucked up is that? Seriously, how fucked up is that? And then you have moderators playing gods in these communities, you know, splitting the player base, banning people that complain, you know, no memes allowed, no community content allowed on SMITE Reddit. We have 6 SMITE subreddits instead of 1 with flares, you know. It's really so bad, and Harris got played, you know, they got played when they pay players for SPL when they don't even need to pay them, you know, they could just make separate EU and North America tourneys and let 2 best teams play it out for final reward, you know, so you pay best 3 teams, and that's how you do it, you know. Harris got played when it comes to DM Brandon situation. They banned a guy who loved this game and they literally ruined his life based on fake accusations coming from members of the SMITE community who didn't even love SMITE, you know. Brandon was a caster for SMITE. He loved the game more than anybody. His career was making content for SMITE, and people were just jealous of him. And Harris, even to this day, they still didn't admit they made a mistake and unban him. Maybe it's better for him and for his health to just leave SMITE, just like it would be for me. Maybe it's finally time to uninstall this game, even though I love it so much. I love the competitive spirit, but I can't even share my videos. I'm banned in most communities. Nobody listens to me. Like, even no matter how much I care, I cannot even prove that I'm the best, you know. Like, yeah, now it's a new season, now it might be a good time to actually like start playing ranked, but ranked is such a huge time investment. It's just doing these stupid overpowered balance items. There is zero counter building, just fucking snowballing. Like, seriously. It's, you know, I don't like Conquest that much that I, you know, and even if I reach Diamond or Grandmaster, how can I get 5 or 6 players to actually make a team? How? You cannot. And then there are these guys like Fine OK Panda Cat, Polar Bear Mike, Pile, so, you know, all these guys who has been on SMITE SPL for 5 years in a row, who never deserve their spots, who barely know how to build. And they get insane money from sponsors and from YouTube. For why? And meanwhile the rest of us get nothing. Nothing. People have no idea how frustrating it actually is to put so much effort and, you know, to love something so much and you cannot even show it. You know, that's what hurts the most. You know, Harris left us behind. They can't even give us a rank leaderboard. So people have no idea how frustrating it is when you love something and you cannot even show it, you know. Like, for example, when we don't have a rank leaderboard for Arena, That divides the community, forces players into conquest. People make fun of us on a daily basis. Good players have to play against new players, which is frustrating for me and for them, for both. It's so frustrating, and it's so hard to take the game seriously when you know there is nothing you can achieve, you know. I can put so much effort into my videos, I will never get views. Because I'm not one of those SMITE SPL players who get views just by existing, you know. And I would have no problems with these guys if they would actually earn their spots. But no, they didn't earn their spots. They got in via friends connections. Because they live in the North America, you know. They call it, it's not SMITE Championship. It's SMITE North America Conquest YouTubers Gathering at this point. It's a joke. And I'm so done talking about this. This is probably gonna be the last video. I'm just sick of this, you know, seriously. It's not worth of my energy. I ruined my health because of SMITE, you know. And what I get in return, just constant bans on SMITE Reddit. Getting banned everywhere for no good reason, you know. Harris really don't care. They simply don't care, or they are just simply incompetent. One of the biggest reason why Harris games are doing poorly is because they all have divided ranked community. We have Conquest versus Arena players in SMITE. We have Strikeout versus Domination in Rogue Company. We have Siege versus Deathmatch in Paladins. It's always the same story. The community is so mismanaged that you have no chance. The game is simply dying, even though the game itself is actually good. I don't know, man. It's like, and people think they are good at this game when in reality half of them just get carried by Snowball. People don't realize the 2 or 3 level difference is huge in this game, you know. This game is literally you know. And these guys play this game like it's late game. Conquest is not about late game, but it's about early game. But these guys don't know how to build for early game. They don't realize if you build that you need to build for the stages in the game you are right now. That's why Stone of Binding or Witchblade or Sovereignty were good in early game on supports. Because they were cheap, cost-effective items. So you get stats immediately. For example, Tapes, you need 10 minutes to actually stack it to get all these protections. And even when you get those protection, when you get that aura, it's practically meaningless. That's why Sovereignty is good early game. Because they have 3 physical teams, so they have mostly physical damage, plus you get flat protection bonus, which is huge in early game, especially against flat penetration rush, like most junglers do, you know. Yotuns, the Crusher, you know, Brawlers. Winged Blade is also a huge item. I'm surprised people actually buy Winged Blade. I didn't expect they play on this level, you know. Let's see some of the more builds here. You know, this Gladiator Shield Shogun is good, but how is that fine? Okay, I don't understand. Some of these guys like Fan OK play for years on SMITE SPL and they still don't know how to build. How is this even possible? Or you don't know how to build supports. This guy has 0 cooldown. He has no Witchblade, he has no Shogun. Imagine having 0 cooldown on a fucking support. This guy never really played support at a high level, where you need to buy correct counter items. Witchblade early game is very important, or Sovereignty. If you combine Witchblade, Shogun, Valor, you have maximum cooldown, you have both protections, and you have 2 best auras in the whole game. These guys, you can see just from their builds that these guys never really went through hardships, okay? They all got it handed to them, you know? They lack experience, they only play Conquest. They don't play all game modes like me. I got ranked, I got diamond in Conquest, Joust and Arena. And Arena is total opposite of Conquest. If you wanna be a good SMITE player, you need to be good in Arena or in Conquest, you know. Conquest is about snowballing, objectives, rotations, and Arena is about resetting fights, counter building, good calls and so on and so on. Proper tower push, light hitting, etc. And most of the comments here who praise these players are actually ignorant, or they're probably fake promotional accounts, you know. And yeah, they have, you know, they think they play for late game, but they don't buy the correct late game items, Void Shield, Shogun, you know. And they also have 0 early game. You have no Watcher's gifts for sustaining early game and supports. They go fucking tapes, which is one of the slowest item in the game. You know, they don't buy Stone of Binding or Witchblade or Shogun early game or Winged Blade, you know. Oh man, like seriously, Smite competitive thing could be so much better, and this is what hurt me the most. I just wanna see best of the best players competing against each other. This is why we love Smite, this is why we play this game, to see the best of the best clashing against each other. But when you have these guys who same 10 players each year, you know, there is no they should just scrap it all. There is no meaning to even, Harris is probably just losing money with this. They don't get enough views. They have to play players. Why are they even paying players and their teams? Seriously, why? It makes no sense. Like they have no idea how to manage this game, and they really need to do some major changes, or this game will just die in a few years, and that's a fact. And I would wanna say the otherwise, because I really love this game so much, and this is why I'm making these complaint videos, because I actually give a shit, because I love this game, man. But Smite Pro League was never about best of the best collection. It was always a huge business. For the last 7 years, it's the same thing, you know.
Items, you've got a Transcendence, that's going to be the big difference maker. So you add in the Nim.
Let's see some of these builds, okay? Supports. No, these are actually some good support builds, even though I would probably go Watcher's Gift here. You have Virginity for flat protections, early game against 3 physical teams. They actually have 4 physical teams. So yes, Virginity, Witchblade are huge. And they have 1, 2... They also have 3 physicals in their team, so Shogun Kuzari is also really good. They have double Witchblade, okay? This team actually knows how to counter build properly, you know? And then you have that's some of the bad items here, like Bluestone, I don't know, Warding Sigil seems to be better. What is this heal item? Nobody should buy this. And Emperor Armor, nobody should buy. Gladiator Shield is good, Witchblade is good, a bit late. Shogun is good though, so Virginity is good. Probably one Ento Heal too. But what you also need is some, like, one penetration item is actually pretty huge on warriors. Like, that's why Void Shield was really good in late game. Especially, you know, most Conquest teams have 3 physical gods, or even 4 sometimes. While most arena teams have 3 magical gods. So Void Shield was really good in Conquest. Void Stone was better in arena, you know. Runic Shield was good in arena. They removed. Stone of Binding was good for early game. I mean, if you are new to, you can, you know, Virginity Witchblade Shogun is always a really good staple. This is a meta support build. This is what I like to see, you know. Even though Stone of Binding might be good, but probably this build is actually still really, I mean, this build is actually meta build for, especially against 4 physicals. Who is this Fafnir support? Let me see, I wanna know who this player is. This guy actually knows how to play supports. It's very hard to see, but I think it's Nailmach, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's see our next game though.
I'm starting to
Scream might catch Cuvo.
You see, if you don't buy Watcher's Gift on a support in early game, you will lack sustain, which is huge in early game. Tebes is too slow. If you play Ability Hunter with flat pin item against somebody who goes Hunter with stacking item, you're gonna outclear them every game. These are absolute joke support build. Okay, Bellona build is good. This guy has... Okay, Gladiator shield is okay, but these two items, Emperor and Hardware Amulet, who the fuck even buys that? What the hell is this? But yeah, we have some good items. We have Witchblade, we have Sovereignty, which is way better here. I just wanna see, you know, I wanna see competitive players who actually understand the meta. I wanna see players who deserve their spots. Not some guys who barely know how to fucking build. And just because you play on SPL for years, that doesn't mean you're good. A lot of these guys actually don't know how to build properly, you know?
Probably.
Because they lack experience. They didn't went through hardships like a lot of us did, who worked for years to be the best, you know?
This is what that game.
Flat pin item is good, yeah. I mean, that's meta for junglers, I guess. And Executioner who got buff is also really good. Because, you know, most conquest teams against have 3 physical gods. So Executioner is really good. This solo support. This solo is only good because he has level advantage. You know, this is problem with most solo players. They have level advantage, but they don't even use it. You know, they build poorly for late game. I mean, they build poorly overall. I mean, but yeah, you don't even need to build good in this game. You can literally just buy Gladiator shield and then physical protection, and you will still do damage. Because Harris has no idea how to balance this game. They removed hybrid items, which allowed for deep itemization and counter building, but they keep Gladiator shield in game, which totally ruin the balance of this game. GG Harris, they have no idea what are they doing. Clearly. I also miss Shogun Kuzari in both. Shogun Kuzari is literally the best aura in this game. Like, why are people not buying it? Seriously, how can you play support or solo and you buy fucking Hardware Amulet over or Genji Guard over Shogun Kuzari? Seriously, doesn't make much sense. But that's what you get when you lack competition, when, you know, when you lack experience and hardships. But I think this is all, you know, like, I don't know, I'm just sick of complaining all the time, seriously, like, I don't need to eat something. This will probably be the last video I make about SMITE SPL scene. It's just, I don't have health to think about these things anymore, like seriously, I spent so much effort and so much love for this game, I get nothing in return. I made some fun videos, but I don't even get views anymore, so it's not really worth it. I have to move on. I really love this game so much, I really did. And I still do. I think this game still has the potential to be one of the best games out there. But even after 10 years, Harris still didn't manage to fix this game. In fact, they made it worse. UI, 7 years ago, UI was better than UI today. It had way more character. You know, no fun game modes on weekends, no ranked leaderboards rewards for arena. SPL is an absolute joke, you know, no competitive spirit anymore. Again, no fun game modes, no initiative to actually play this game, no mini rewards, mini chest or achievement points rewards or commendation rewards, no, nothing. The moderation literally killed SMITE Reddit. I'm banned on SMITE Facebook groups, which has like 50,000 members, so I cannot even share my content there anymore. GG. And this is what SMITE, even if you love SMITE so much, it's not actually worth it to make content for SMITE. You know, it's not worth it because only SPL boosted YouTubers get views, you know. And the rest of us, nothing. SMITE TV, let's see. Gonna get sub, why not? I support fellow content creators, you know. Especially the small ones, you know. And then you have these guys like Fine OK, who get views no matter what video they do, you know. But I have seen his solo builds in SMITE and they fucking sucks. Yeah, you have level advantage. You know, they think they are good at this game because they have level advantage. But then they lose a late game because they have no proper items, you know. Let's see their build. You see, how is this guy even at a SMITE SPL? Like, seriously. What is this build? These are some new items, okay, but... This guy has no idea how to build, but he's getting carried by level advantage every game. He has 2-3 level advantage every game, he never rotates. And then he's surprised they lose late game when everybody gets level 20. He doesn't use his advantage for his team. Because he cannot. He simply wastes his lead every game because he has no idea how to build. He doesn't buy Gladiator Shield, Shogun Kuzari, or Void Shield, or any damage item, or single flat pin item. Flat pin item was really strong actually on Warriors. Or for example Osiris. He has been playing Osiris so much, he never bought a single flat pin item. I can check literally any of his video probably and it's the same.
Shields are.
And a lot of,
maybe just some
and he's even leveling up wrongly. Instead of his 2, he actually level up his 3, which has higher cooldown, more mana consumption, and less burst. This guy has no idea how to build or play gods properly, and he still somehow gets on SMITE SPL. No idea how.
right. Get this tap.
Oh, but his build makes sense, I guess. He got some attack speed, Berserker, Shogun. It's okay, but he will do so much better if he would go, for example, Warding Sigil, Jotun's Wrath, or Gladiator Shield, and then whatever the fuck you was, Stone Cutting, you know. Let's see their let's see how he builds Hercules.
Anything to be done?
Genji Guard, never buy Genji Guard over Shogun Kuzari. Never buy Shield of Regrowth over Winged Blade. This guy lacks experience. He's just too busy being carried by Snowball every game. And that's why he barely know how to build. And that's why most Conquest mains barely know how to build. Because they are relying on Snowball to win their games. Not on actual counter building of good items. And then they don't even need to build good, you know. They just build Gladiator Shield and some physical protection and they do damage. Why would you ever buy Genji Guard over Shogun Kuzari? How is this guy a pro player even, I wonder? He doesn't even know how to build. And I'm not even talking shit, I'm literally just saying facts. You know? And most of these guys are the same. Let's see, did he buy any cooldown on Fafnir? Some stupid attack speed build. But you know, everything works. When you have level advantage in Conquest, every build will work. You know? These guys are not good at the game, they just usually have level advantage because Conquest is most competitive game mode. It's not, Conquest is literally designed for children because children need numbers to carry their games. These guys are not good because of their items or their skills, no, it's because usually of Conquest snowballing, you know. And this guy gets 50,000 views. Just because he was on SPL. He doesn't even need to play good, he doesn't even need to build good. But he got in via friends connection and now he's making mad money. Will the rest of us get, you know, 100 or 200 views? This guy would have 10,000 views, not 100,000 views if it wouldn't be for SMITE SPL. And he didn't get there because he's good. Because he got handpicked by Hi-Res and friends leak, you know, that's why. He barely know how to build. I'm pissed off, you know.
1,200 cases, like your father.
I don't know, man. I had to put some of these things out, like seriously. You know, I have been playing SMITE from 2012. That's like, that's more than 10 years, you know. But I have nothing to prove. I mean, I cannot even prove. I have been playing Arena a lot, which we don't even have ranked leaderboard and rewards for it, so... And people constantly make fun of you just because you play Arena. Because Harris is so busy, you know. Harris loves to split player base in every game they make. And then the only time they mention that is when somebody mention, you know, old fun game or so ranked leaderboard, you know, for Arena. And then again, all Harris is doing each season is making new unbalanced items. So they have something to do through the year, but they never bother to fix the core issues this game has. And I'm sick of even telling that every time I make a video. This will be the last video I'm talking about this. I'm so fucking done. Most of these guys are actually a disgrace for SMITE community. They're the reason why SMITE community is in such a sad state, you know. Okay, I'm not talking about Sam the Dude, you know, this guy is cool, but it's just a huge business. It's nothing more than that. Like, SMITE competitive scene is not a SMITE competitive scene. It's just SMITE North America YouTubers gathering at this point, and it goes totally against why we love this game and why we are competitive players at heart. It's just a huge business because, you know, if you are being on SMITE SPL, you get sponsorship money and you get YouTube money and views. Otherwise, you have no chances to actually ever get any views as a SMITE content creator. Yeah, World Championships, where players barely know how to build and like any meaningful competition. Whoa, such a World Championship. So stupid, man. And this whole YouTube thing is so stupid. And when you check on top of that, let's see something else. Let me show you something else. You know, not only are these guys like making mad money from sponsorship on YouTube, but then you also check some of the comments under their videos, and a lot of them are actually fake bot promotional accounts. Even though this time doesn't seem so. I guess I judged it too quickly. This is one of the fake accounts, only 2 years old. They posted good willing comments under their videos to promote their videos. Let's see. Okay, I guess not. But yeah, I'm just done like with these complaining videos. I'm just maybe gonna play some SMITE and try to enjoy it even though I hate it, you know. It just sucks so much. Like, I wanna see actual competition, not the same 10 people every year. And they call their, you know what I hate the most is that they call themselves champions, even though they know how much competition they're actually lacking. This pisses me off the most. Because there are players who love this game so much and work their asses off for years to be the best. But we have no way to actually prove it to, you know, and it's so gatekept that it's not worth, you know, it's a joke. SMITE is going downhill sadly, even though it's probably, SMITE is probably one of those games that has one of the most potential of all games on the MOBA market. They had no competition, they had one of the best action combat and social system, and still this game is dying. Because Harris don't know how to manage their games, their communities, you know. Okay, and let me also show you something else. If you check, for example, under the intersect video, if you check some of these comments, You can just check the creation date of these accounts. You see, only 2 years old account. Only few years old account. Only 2 years old account again. You see, this guy, a lot of these YouTubers make fake promotional accounts to boost their YouTube videos. So never trust a YouTuber, you know. They abuse YouTube in ways you can't even imagine. The rest of us, you know, we only get maybe a few hundred or few thousand views, you know. And then there are guys like Fun, okay, who don't even need to build good. They just got the views because people think they are the best, you know. This is what pisses me off the most. They are not the best. They just intentionally lack competition. They don't wanna have competition. They're all fake and phony. And somebody has to expose these guys, you know. These guys go totally against the competitive spirit why we love this game. I mean, I hate them. I hate them for that. And they never talk about SMITE competitive scene problem. No, because they're making mad money out of it. They get so much views and money from YouTube and from sponsors. And all these guys are the same. Fine, okay, Hadix, Panda Cat, Icon, Weekend. All these guys are the same. They are the reason why SMITE competitive scene is such in a bad state, you know. Zapman. GG, I guess. I don't know, man. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna play SMITE still, but this just pisses me off so much. Like, seriously, like, this literally ruins everything. Why would you even invest your time and energy and love into this game when everything is fake, when you have nothing to achieve, when the whole competitive scene is just a big scam? Why would you invest anything into this game then? It's simply not worth it. No matter, even if you love this game to death, you will get nothing out of it. Only those guys, those 20 players who somehow managed to get into SMITE SPL via friends connection, and only those guys will get money out of it. Nobody else. And I don't even want money. I just want ability to show that I'm good at this game too, that I'm a competitive player too. Like, seriously. Ugh. It's so frustrating, seriously, it's so frustrating. And they can change conquest maps so much and so much, but there is only so much you can do. If they're not gonna fix the core issues, make a UI with actual character, bring back old fun game modes like domination on weekends, rank leaderboard and rewards for arena, fix the SPL scene, make separate sound parameters for voice chat, no, I mean for voice commands, and for ability effects, you know, because right now they're on the same sound parameter, which is actually very bad for content creators. And we need some big content creators back into this game, but this game will die when the new MOBA comes out. You know, Harris has been just lucky there is not a single good MOBA game out there. SMITE was so good because not only we had conquest, but we also had arena style maps, and we have good action combat and good social system, everything you need for a good game. But this game is going downhill. Like, once we get a good MOBA competition, this game is done. And so is Hi-Res. And their new game, what is it? Their new game, let me see. Is basically just a copy of other games. What is called? Divine Knockout. Divine Knockout is basically like Rocket Arena. You see, Rocket Arena. The only reason why Rocket Arena did poorly is because it was not free to play when it comes out, but it was buy to play, and this is why this game died. And the Rocket Arena is actually a really fun game, and it's a really fun game. But Harris doesn't really have much future. You know, okay, Paladins is still okay, but they need to, you know, they need to watch the King's avatar animation and get some inspiration how to properly make a MOBA game. This is what the Harris needs to do. And if they listen to me, what I said in this video, maybe they can still fix SMITE. Bring back the players, bring back the competitive spirit, light up that competitive fire once more. Otherwise this game will just go downhill from now on, and this is the sad reality. Like, I would love to praise this game. I made so many videos about this game. I make 500 or 600 videos about SMITE. But it's not worth it. I get no views anymore. It's not worth it anymore. Even no matter how much I love this game and how much I wanna see this game to improve, if Harris won't do some major changes, the game will simply go downhill from now on. You know, and this is really sad because I was really hoping SMITE was something that, you know, SMITE was one of those games that I always come back to, you know. But not anymore. Like, they don't listen, they don't make good changes. They're dumbing down the game. It's not worth it anymore. My health simply cannot handle it anymore. And it was really one of the best multiplayer online battle arena games. Like, this is why we love such games, because we're competitive spirit. We wanna play with and against each other. But if you don't listen to the community, if you divide it on every corner, then the game has not future, you know. They really need to watch the King's avatar animation, and they can really learn how to make a proper MOBA game, you know. Or there is so much you can do, you know. We don't have a good arena style games, you know, like on MOBA. Also, the lack of innovation. Like, if you make a game where you can like tame open world monsters as your mount, that would be so cool. This is what Final Fantasy or Star Wars need to do, or Marvel. You can just make 5 versus 5 arena style map with objectives, you know. But you cannot repeat the same mistake you did with SMITE, forcing players into conquest. You need to give arena and conquest style maps a rank leaderboard and rewards, and you need to make tourneys for it. And players will come instantly. You don't need to pay your players to play. You just get a, you know, final reward. You know, top 3 teams get the reward, and that's it. Like, Harris, really, their community moderation is so bad. SMITE Reddit literally died because of the bad community moderation. We have 6 SMITE subreddits instead of 1 with flares. There is no memes allowed, only artwork, you know. Okay, today we have 1 meme here because it's a Monday, you know, but that's it. People getting banned left and right, you know. Yeah, all these are... It's only like... You see, this used to have thousands of upvotes, you know. If they would only allow memes all the time, if they would only like combine all these SMITE subreddits into one with flares, remove all these moderators, SMITE Reddit would be literally better without any moderators, you know, that's the thing. I'm tired now, I just can't. My health just simply cannot. Like, just watch the King's avatar animation. Watch this cool animation and learn how to make a proper MMORPG or MOBA style game, you know.